Hi, I bought a printer! And now I can make prints of my own paintings myself. And here it is, the printer of my dreams, the Epson Ecotank ET-8550. I fell in love with it last fall and kept dreaming that one day it would be mine. And then, in February, it finally happened. I've already had about 4 months to get to know it and get used to how it works. Let me give you a quick overview of what it is and what it can actually do. Here it is, my beautiful printer. It's pretty big and heavy. It can print everything from tiny sizes up to A3 format. It has a scanner, a display, but its most distinctive feature is the ink system. It uses 6 colors: gray, magenta, yellow, cyan, and 2 types of black, one of which is pigment black. This printer is cartridge free and the ink comes in bottles. I've watched a lot of videos where people said that the ink consumption is incredibly efficient, and after 4 months of use I can say yes, it really is. The ink drains slowly. When you first fill it up and start the printer, the ink level drops by 1 notch. But that's totally normal, because the ink has to fill all the tubes inside. Since then, my ink level looked like this. And by the way, there is still a little bit of ink left in the bottles, so I'll be able to use it later. The print quality is amazing, everything is sharp and beautiful. And when it comes to printing, it's super important to buy good, high-quality paper. This printer can handle thick paper. Ideally, of course, it's best to use genuine Epson paper, but it's not sold in the stores in my city, so I found an alternative: Kodak paper. It's thick, matte, very nice to the touch, and prints look amazing on it. I've tried a few different types of paper. For example, for printing my photos, I use this paper. It's glossy and feels a little bit like plastic. Honestly, at first I was completely blown away by how cool everything looked. Then I got used to it. You get used to good things quickly. But for art prints, it's better to use cotton, matte, fine art paper. And by the way, it's extremely important to print on the correct side, because it's look like ordinary paper, but actually it's like a layered cake. For my paper, I noticed a pattern. The right side, the printable side, is on the side where the long plastic tab is when you open the pack. Here. Maybe this works for other paper brands too, I don't know. Alright, let me show you and tell you how to get high quality prints at home. First, you need to scan the painting. I always wipe down the scanner glass so I don't scan any dust or cat hair. Before doing that, I also wipe down the painting itself. I choose 600 dpi for scanning. And let me tell you a little secret: If you zoom in on the scan, no matter how hard I try to clean everything around, there is still some dust and cat hair. I cleaned it up in Photoshop. And next comes my least favorite, most energy draining and paper wasting process, color correction and test prints. I strive for perfection and want the prints to match the colors of the original painting as closely as possible. And that means a ton of settings and attempts. Plus, it's not like I can use the exact same settings for all my paintings. No, for every single piece, I have to tweak the settings specifically for it every single time. But one universal thing you definitely need to do for all scans is to lower the saturation, turn down the intensity of the magenta, and brighten up the darkest areas. They tend to look darker on matte velvet paper than they do on the screen. For my tests, I use a slightly cheaper paper, but it's also thick, matte and velvet. And if I'm happy with the result on that paper, it's look even better on the Kodak one. On the printer itself and in the Photoshop print window, I select velvet fine art paper, but in the Epson printer settings window, I choose Epson matte, because it's the only way I can select high quality printing. If I select velvet fine art everywhere, which technically seems like the correct way, it locks me out of the changing the print quality. After many attempts, I finally get a result I'm happy with. Next, I cut them. For now, I do it by hand, but later I'll buy a paper guillotine cutter. Also, I want to include a little freebie sticker with every order, a snippet of a larger painting. Then I take photos for my shop listings, edit them, write the descriptions, and we're good to go. And here is something I didn't expect at all. Very quickly I got an order for prints, so let's pack it together. Thank you so much for your orders. Every single time it brings me so much joy, and it makes me feel like a real artist and that people actually want my work. Oh, and look at this. I've been so lucky this week. I got a commission for a miniature painting. So yeah, I have a printer now. And I'm so happy to finally have such a necessary tool for my work. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. I'll be happy to answer them. Thank you so much for watching and see you next time. Bye bye!